As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, shallow people believe in luck and circumstance. Strong people believe in cause and effect. That's something we all have to take ownership of. We all have to understand that our life is a summation of all the choices we make, good and bad. Everything in our life is a choice, and the decisions we make is what shapes our future. Epictetus says, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That is such a powerful idea because terrible things are going to happen to you if they haven't already, and when you can't control what's happening, challenge yourself to control the way you respond to what's happening. That's where your power is.
Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Think about every poor decision you've made in your life.
Gosh.
There was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mind.
Now, I want to talk to you about self-esteem and the idea of becoming anti-fragile. If you haven't heard the book called Anti-Fragile by Nassim Taleb, it's worth a read, and you're in for a treat because we'll get into the core crux of the message of the book. Tom Bilyeu explains it best, and if you know me, I'm a fan, so I'm going to use Tom Bilyeu language because of how eloquently he gets the whole idea across. So, in the book Anti-Fragile, the author lays out the difference between something that is resilient and something that is truly anti-fragile. Now, something that is resilient is still defined by its breaking point. Don't get it twisted. It's tough. It's tough as hell, but you can still beat the life out of it, and it doesn't break until finally, one day it does. But something that is anti-fragile, the more you attack it, the stronger it gets. Now, I firmly believe that each and every one of us can build a mindset that's anti-fragile. But here's the most important thing you need to realize. What you build your self-esteem around matters. Whether you realize it or not, each and every one of us has something that sits at the core of how we feel about ourselves, and from that, your identity, your sense of self-worth, your self-esteem, it is all built around that thing. Most people build their self-esteem around their accomplishments. They feel good about themselves if they're making the most money, if they have the most lavish lifestyle, if they're the most fit, or if they're the smartest in the room. But there's a fundamental flaw with this mentality, because they're all completely fragile traits. Because when your ego is that attached to your success, it's devastated by your failures. So you cannot leave your self-worth in the hands of anyone else. Once you realize that even your self-esteem is a construct, you've decided that your value is predicated on something, and that something is external. And so, for example, let's say I pride myself for having a great aesthetic body, right? So I enter a new gym, and I encounter people that are stronger than me, people that have a greater physique than me, people who can lift heavier than I can. That's going to damage my self-esteem. My self-esteem in that situation is very fragile. If, on the other hand, my self-esteem is tied to self-development, constantly trying to go harder than last time, being better than last time, now I'm not going to be fazed by comparison. Because the only person I'm trying to beat is the person staring right back at me in the mirror. The problem with building your self-worth around being the best, being the smartest, the strongest, the person who makes the most amount of money, the person with the most followers, is that you're never going to be the best at everything. The problem is, you'll always encounter someone who's smarter, who's better, who's faster, who makes more money, who has more influence. It's just the way of the world. At the end of the day, we don't grow when things are easy. We grow when we face challenges. The only thing that matters is how you choose to grow. So start small if you have to. Know what you want. Cultivate a mind stronger than your emotions. Get out of bed. Get after it. Set rules for yourself. Follow those rules. Once you start following those simple things, you earn credibility with yourself. And if you just do that every day, you build something within you. Belief. Belief that you are worthy because you take those small steps that mean something to you. And those small steps then leads to big things. It doesn't matter what other people think, but it matters a lot what you think about yourself. So get that worth. Peace and love.